I'm a young man, getting what I came for. Cause I work hard, I got everything I prayed for. Money came fast, so now I take my day slow. Me and Craig, just like MJG and 8-Ball. Talk that talk, I just bought the flowers on a weekday.
The provocative allure of one's infatuation with a decorative exterior masked in the seductive falsification of physical attraction is the very essence of what a perfect picture is. Distorting our perception as well as the perception of others with regard to an idea that God gave us all a natural ability to reflect has caused us to create false images. We've created false representations of who it is we are to appease to the ideas of other people with regard to who it is we're supposed to be. I want to talk today about the perfect picture and the difference between a perfect picture and a picture perfect. When you look at your photos, do your photos say about you the same things that you keep saying to everybody else about yourself? Whenever you go to a photo shoot, there are a few requirements and or suggestions that the photographer is going to make with regard to what it is you should do prior to you actually coming to the photo shoot. The suggestion is, regardless of whether or not you're a male or a female, you need to go get your makeup done. Now, there's several reasons for why it's important for you to get your makeup done, especially when you're taking the picture. The goal and objective of the picture is to catch you in a moment that reflects the essence of your perfection, regardless of your flaws. We've defined perfection to mean flawlessness, means there are no blemishes. But that's not really what perfection is supposed to be. Remember this, if we were to consider light to exemplify the essence of perfection, then in order for us to be able to comprehend the existence of light, it has to be projected off some backdrop of darkness. There's no such thing as a perfect picture. Pictures were only created to capture your natural reflection, not just your created ones. See, a perfect image can only echo in the minds of other people. A created reflection, the costume that you put on, pretending to be somebody that you're not in the hopes of convincing people that you really are, then placing a demand on those same people you're trying to convince to actually affirm the existence of that person as a legal entity in the framework or realm of the world that you and I currently exist in. That's a problem. Now, I can't go to work tomorrow. I could and present myself as Superman. I'm under the impression that, like Superman, I can fly. So I'm going to tell everybody what I need for you to do is I need for you to affirm my existence and the reality that you and I coexist in. I don't need you to deny that I am. This is how I want to be identified, as Superman. Go to the top of the roof, say, I want to jump off. I would hope that somebody has enough common sense to tell me no. Because there's something called the law of nature. The law of nature basically suggests that whatever comes up must go down. So no matter how much I have convinced myself that I am what it is I believe myself to be, you should know that that's not what I am. And a lot of us are convincing ourselves to believe that we are something that we're not. So we present ourselves as such, and we expect everybody else to buy into what it is we have bought into. This is where we have to be careful with regard to understanding the picture. Because a lot of us are presenting pictures and then expecting everybody else to affirm the reality of the picture that we presented to them, not realizing that it's flawed. See, most of us fall for the illusion, causing us or convincing us to believe that the perfection of who it is that person presented themselves to be in the moment is a reflection of who that person will continue to be throughout the duration of our encounter and or our relationship, only to discover that the perfect picture that that individual presented for everybody else to see was a scam used to falsely advertise an unrealistic expectation that allowed me to place a demand upon them for them to become and to be a person that they knew they never were. Physical attraction cannot just be the absolute tell-all with regard to the individual that we're looking at. We have to be able to unlayer the different layers that individual has put on to mask themselves to be something or to project to us an idea of something that they're not. And be able to look behind the scenes so that we can discover the unknowns of that particular individual. We have to get them or posture them in a position and or a place for them to be able to feel comfortable enough to allow us to be exposed to the natural essence of who it is they are. That is a picture perfect. When somebody can love you and appreciate the value of who it is you are without having to layer yourself with other things to pretend to be something that you're not, but just have a natural love, have a possessing of a power, ability, and a patience and a presence to love you the way that you were supposed to be loved with regard, regardless of whether or not you have on this and have on that. That is the example of a picture perfect. Place a demand on people to be who they were naturally created to be, because then you allow yourself or grant yourself the space to operate in the natural capacity of the individual that God purposed for you to be in the earth. Throughout the life cycle, we experience changes, and we have to learn and embrace the comfort of continuously being ourselves, even when we're going through the changes of life. There's no reason for us to conform to the patterns of the world or the ways of other people or the ideas of who people expect for us to be. But we have to make sure that with every presentation that we give to ourselves, we have to remember that ultimately there's a consequence that we'll have to serve as a result of presenting to other people somebody that we're not. People should be able to place a demand on us to be who it is we are so they can become who it is they are. And likewise, you should be able to place a demand on people to be what they're supposed to be so that when you come into the room, you don't have to change up or become something you're not in order to accommodate the individual that they've created themselves to be in this realm that they're living in. That's happening a lot. And this is why it's so important, because if you're placing a demand on me to be something in order to accommodate the individual that you are, you have to be the right individual, because you should never ask me to step outside of myself to become something I'm not, to accommodate a person that you keep pretending to be and that you're not naturally. That's important. And this is why it's important for us to embrace the reality of the pictures that we take. Your perfection is wrapped all up in you holistically. The individual that you are holistically. That's the individual that we want to know. We want to know the good and we want to know the bad. Now, I'm not telling you to expose yourself to everybody, but I am telling you to position yourselves around the right people who can appreciate the value of who it is you are. More importantly, the integrity of the person that you are. So the picture that you presented to other people, is that the person that you are behind closed doors? Or is that just a public image that you want people to be salivating over or fantasizing about? How will you ever know the beauty of your person without giving people the opportunity, the right people the opportunity to rediscover the person that you were created by God to be? Be you. Don't try to be anybody else. It's harder to be somebody else, but it's easy to be you. So do the easy thing. Learn how to become yourself. Learn how to be the best version of yourself and be the best version that you can be for you.
Done.